Hey, let's cut straight to it. Most of us think we're eating healthy, right? We pick foods we've been told are good for us, foods with fancy labels like low-fat or organic. But here's the truth. It's not as simple as slapping on a label and calling it healthy. In fact, some of the foods you think are your best allies might be sabotaging your fitness goals. Surprised? Don't worry. We're going to uncover what's really going on behind those seemingly innocent choices. Now, before we dive into specifics, let's think about what being healthy actually means. It's not about starving yourself or obsessively tracking every calorie. It's about fueling your body in a way that supports your goals, whether that's building muscle, losing weight, or just feeling better overall. And here's the kicker. Not all calories are created equal. Sure, you can eat anything in moderation, but let's be real. Some foods make it a lot harder to stay on track than others. Take hummus, for example. It's one of those foods that screams healthy. It's made from chickpeas, it's creamy, and it pairs perfectly with veggies. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. It's also loaded with calories. Thanks to the oil and tahini, even a small serving can pack more calories than you'd expect. And let's be honest, when's the last time you stopped at just 2 tablespoons? Most of us end up dipping and scooping until we've unknowingly consumed a meal's worth of calories. So, is hummus bad? Not necessarily. It's all about how much you're eating and what else you're pairing it with. Now, let's move on to something sweeter. Dark chocolate. We've all heard it's a superfood, loaded with antioxidants and supposedly great for your heart. But let's take a closer look. Just 6 squares of the stuff can hit you with over 200 calories, most of which come from fats and sugars. And let's not even pretend you're stopping at 6 squares. It's easy to polish off the whole bar, convincing yourself it's a healthy indulgence. But when you compare it to something like a bowl of fresh fruit, it's clear which option is going to support your goals better. Speaking of fruit, let's talk juice. Orange juice, apple juice, even those fancy cold-pressed blends, they all sound like great choices. But here's the reality. Juice is just concentrated sugar. When you drink it, you're getting all the sweetness without the fiber that makes whole fruit filling and nutritious. A single glass can contain as much sugar as a can of soda. Think about that for a second. Would you rather have a soda or an orange? The orange wins every time, not just because it's natural, but because it actually fills you up and provides real nutrition. Let's keep going, because there's a lot more to unpack. Think about all the things you add to your healthy meals that might not be as harmless as they seem. Take peanut butter, for example. It's a pantry staple for so many of us, and I get it. It's delicious, versatile, and feels like a wholesome option. But here's the thing. Peanut butter is calorie-dense and not exactly high in protein when you compare it to other choices. Just a couple of tablespoons can set you back 200 calories or more. And let's be honest. When's the last time you measured out a perfect 2-tablespoon serving? Most of us just scoop it out without thinking, and before you know it, you've added hundreds of extra calories to your day. Now, I'm not saying peanut butter is bad. It's great for people who need to add calories to their diets, like athletes or people with high energy demands. But if you're trying to lose weight, maybe switch to a lighter alternative. There are protein-packed versions out there that taste just as good, but with way fewer calories. Speaking of high-calorie surprises, let's talk about salads. Yeah, salads. They're the poster child for healthy eating, right? But once you start piling on croutons, cheese, bacon bits, and creamy dressings, that simple bowl of greens transforms into a calorie bomb. The vegetables themselves are fantastic. Low-calorie, full of fiber, and super nutritious. But the toppings? Not so much. If you want to keep your salads healthy, try lighter dressings and focus on adding fresh veggies or lean proteins instead. It's all about letting the greens shine without burying them under unnecessary extras. Now, this one might sting a little. Trail mix. I know, it's marketed as the perfect snack for active, health-conscious people. But let's be real. Trail mix is essentially candy disguised as a health food. Between the dried fruits, nuts, and chocolate pieces, it's a calorie-dense snack that's way too easy to overeat. Sure, it's great if you're hiking or doing intense physical activity, but if you're just sitting at your desk, it's not doing you any favors. Instead, opt for fresh fruit, or something lighter if you're looking for a quick snack. And let's not forget about drinks. Chocolate milk, for example, is often pushed as a great recovery drink for athletes. But what's really in it? Regular milk with added sugar and flavoring. Sure, it has some protein, but it also packs a ton of unnecessary calories and sugar. If you want a post-workout boost, go for something with higher protein and fewer empty calories, like a balanced protein shake or a meal with lean protein and whole grains. This brings me to one of the most common mistakes: juice and smoothies. These drinks often masquerade as healthy, but they're really just sugar bombs in disguise. Even if you're making them at home, blending up a ton of fruit concentrates all the sugar without the fiber. It's much better to eat whole fruits and get the benefits of fiber, which helps you feel full and keeps your blood sugar stable. Let's talk about something that's become a bit of a craze in the world of healthy eating, gluten-free, and organic products. There's this widespread belief that slapping a gluten-free or organic label on something instantly makes it better for you. But here's the reality. Most of these products are no different from their regular counterparts when it comes to calories, sugar, or fats. In some cases, they're even worse. Take gluten-free foods, for instance. Unless you have a medical condition like celiac disease or a legitimate gluten intolerance, there's really no need to avoid gluten. Yet so many people swear by gluten-free options, thinking they're automatically healthier. But have you ever stopped to look at what replaces the gluten? Often it's starches, sugars, and other fillers that aren't doing you any favors. Gluten-free cookies and bread, for example, are often higher in calories than the regular versions. So, unless you have a medical reason, it's just an unnecessary swap that could be adding more calories to your day. And then there's organic. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently wrong with choosing organic produce or products. But the idea that organic means fewer calories or more nutrients is just plain wrong. An organic cookie is still a cookie. An organic soda? Still soda. These products might be free of pesticides or grown differently, but that doesn't change their calorie content or their impact on your fitness goals. If you're choosing organic because you prefer the farming practices, great, but don't trick yourself into thinking it's a magic bullet for weight loss or health. Now, let's bring it back to some common everyday choices that might be sneaking into your diet. How about something as innocent seeming as popcorn? Sure, popcorn itself is a fantastic snack, low in calories, high in fiber, and pretty filling. But not all popcorn is created equal. Pre-packaged varieties, especially the ones coated in butter or cheese, can be loaded with calories and unhealthy fats. Even the healthier versions can be misleading if you're not paying attention to portion sizes. A bag might say it's only 100 calories per serving, but if the bag has 3 servings and you eat the whole thing, you've tripled your intake without even realizing it. And speaking of deceptive snacks, let's not forget about salads again. This time, I'm talking about those pre-made options you grab at fast food restaurants or grocery stores. You might think you're making a better choice by skipping the burger, but some of these salads pack more calories and fat than a double cheeseburger. It all comes down to what's in them. Creamy dressings, fried toppings, and heaps of cheese can add up quickly. If you're grabbing a salad on the go, stick to simple ones with vinaigrettes or bring your own lighter dressing. Let's pause here for a moment. If you've made it this far, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. I promise it's worth it. You'll stay updated on more content like this, and it really helps me out. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's shift gears a little and talk about those everyday foods we don't even think twice about, like orange juice. Sure, it's been a breakfast staple forever, and it's got that natural vibe going for it. But here's the thing. Orange juice is basically sugar water with a bit of vitamin C. When you drink a glass of it, you're getting all the sugar from several oranges without the fiber to balance it out. That fiber is what helps keep you full and slows the release of sugar into your bloodstream. Without it, you're basically spiking your blood sugar and setting yourself up for a crash later on. It's the same story with other juices. Apple juice, grape juice, you name it. They might taste great, but they're not helping you reach your health goals. If you want the benefits of fruit, eat the fruit. Grab an apple, peel an orange, snack on some grapes. Not only will you get the natural sweetness, but you'll also get the fiber, vitamins, and satisfaction that comes from actually chewing your food. Speaking of chewing, let's tackle another common snack: granola bars. They've got this health halo around them, like they're the perfect thing to toss in your bag for a quick energy boost. But most granola bars are glorified candy bars. They're loaded with sugar and fats, and they don't really fill you up. If you're looking for a snack that'll actually keep you satisfied, opt for something with a better balance of protein, carbs, and fats. A handful of nuts with some fresh fruit or a high-protein yogurt is a much better option. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so what can I actually eat? The answer is simpler than you might think. Focus on whole, minimally processed foods. Think lean proteins, fresh vegetables, and whole grains. These are the foods that fuel your body and help you feel your best. And when it comes to snacks, keep it simple. Popcorn, for example, can be a fantastic option. Just make sure it's air-popped or lightly seasoned, not drenched in butter or oil. And while we're on the subject of simplicity, let's talk about beverages again. One of the best changes you can make is swapping out high-calorie drinks for low-calorie or calorie-free options. Diet sodas, flavored waters, and unsweetened teas can help you stay hydrated without adding unnecessary calories to your day. It's all about making small changes that add up over time. Here's a big one that gets overlooked all the time: portion control. It's not just about what you eat, it's about how much you eat. Even the healthiest foods can add up if you're not mindful of your portions. For instance, nuts. They're packed with healthy fats and nutrients, but they're also incredibly calorie-dense. A small handful can contain 200 calories or more. Now, imagine you're snacking on them mindlessly while watching TV. Before you know it, you've eaten half the bag, and that healthy snack just turned into a calorie bomb. The same goes for foods like peanut butter. We already touched on this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Peanut butter is delicious and has its place in a balanced diet, but if you're not measuring your servings, it's all too easy to go overboard. A tablespoon here, an extra scoop there. It adds up fast. If you're using peanut butter, try pairing it with lower-calorie foods like apple slices or celery sticks to help balance things out. And let's not forget about beverages. Drinks like smoothies and protein shakes can seem like great options, especially when you're on the go. But they can also be calorie traps if you're not careful. Loading up your smoothie with fruit, nut butters, and sweeteners might make it taste amazing, but it can also turn it into a meal-sized calorie hit. The solution? Keep it simple. Stick to 1 or 2 fruits, add some greens for extra nutrients, and use unsweetened almond milk or water as your base. You'll get all the flavor without the unnecessary extras. Portion control is also about understanding how different foods affect your satiety, how full you feel after eating. For example, high-protein foods like Greek yogurt or chicken breast are incredibly filling compared to calorie-dense options like chips or cookies. That's why focusing on nutrient-dense, lower-calorie foods can make such a big difference. Not only do they help you stay within your calorie goals, but they also keep you satisfied, so you're less likely to reach for something unhealthy later. Let me give you an example from my own routine. Popcorn is one of my go-to snacks because it's low in calories, high in fiber, and takes a while to eat. Air-popped popcorn with a sprinkle of seasoning feels indulgent without actually being so. It's a snack that satisfies the urge to munch while keeping the calorie count low. Compare that to a bag of chips, which is easy to finish in minutes and leaves you wanting more. Choosing snacks like popcorn over chips is a small change, but it makes a massive difference over time. When it comes to eating healthy, small swaps can make a world of difference. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just tweak a few habits here and there, and you'll start seeing results. Let's break it down with some examples that are easy to implement. First up, let's talk about condiments. Ketchup, mayonnaise, salad dressings. These little extras can sneak in a surprising amount of calories. But here's the good news. There are plenty of lighter alternatives. Low-calorie ketchup, mustard, or vinaigrettes can add flavor without piling on the calories. For instance, instead of using full-fat ranch dressing on your salad, switch to a light or fat-free version. You'll get all the taste with half the calories, and it's such an easy change to make. Another great swap is with dairy products. If you love milk but want to cut back on calories, try skim milk or a high-protein alternative like almond milk or soy milk. These options often have fewer calories and less fat while still giving you the creamy texture you're after. And if you're a cheese lover, look for reduced fat or light cheeses. They taste just as good, but won't set you back as much in terms of calories. Then there's dessert. Let's face it, most of us have a sweet tooth, and cutting out dessert entirely just isn't realistic. But you don't have to. Instead of reaching for ice cream or a slice of cake, try Greek yogurt with a drizzle of honey and some fresh berries. Or, if you're craving something frozen, Greek yogurt bars are a fantastic option. They're portion-controlled, lower in calories, and packed with protein to keep you satisfied. Snacks are another area where small swaps can make a big impact. Instead of chips, go for popcorn. Instead of a granola bar, try a piece of fruit with a handful of nuts. These are simple changes that can help you stay on track without feeling deprived. And let's not forget about cooking methods. Baking, grilling, or air frying your food instead of frying it in oil can save you hundreds of calories without sacrificing flavor. You can still enjoy crispy, flavorful dishes, but without the guilt. Remember, eating healthy isn't about deprivation, It's about making smarter choices that align with your goals. By swapping out high-calorie foods for lighter alternatives, you can still enjoy the foods you love while staying on track. Here's a truth that can't be overstated. Planning is everything. When you plan your meals and snacks ahead of time, you set yourself up for success. It's so much easier to make healthy choices when you've already prepared them, rather than scrambling to find something last minute and defaulting to whatever is convenient, which, let's face it, is often not the healthiest option. Start with something as simple as meal prepping. You don't need to make a week's worth of meals in one go, though some people swear by it. Even just prepping a few staples, like grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, or cooked quinoa, can save you tons of time during the week and keep you on track. Having those go-to ingredients ready means you can throw together a balanced meal in minutes, no excuses. Snacks are another area where planning can save the day. Instead of grabbing a bag of chips or a candy bar when hunger strikes, have healthier options on hand. Portion out some nuts, cut up fresh veggies, or keep high-protein snacks like Greek yogurt or hard-boiled eggs in the fridge. When you make it easy to choose healthy snacks, you're far less likely to reach for the unhealthy ones. And don't underestimate the power of having a food journal or tracker. Writing down what you eat, even just for a week, can be a real eye-opener. You might be surprised by where those extra calories are sneaking in. Maybe it's the creamer in your coffee, the handful of candy from the office jar, or the late-night snack you didn't really need. Awareness is key, and once you know where your habits need adjusting, you can start making changes. But let's talk about balance too, because it's not all about strict rules and meal plans. Life happens. You're going to have days when you're busy, tired, or just not in the mood to cook. And that's okay. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be consistent. If you're eating well most of the time, the occasional indulgence isn't going to derail your progress. The key is to get back on track as soon as you can. One trick that works wonders is having a few fallback meals. These are super simple dishes you can whip up with minimal effort when you're short on time or energy. Think scrambled eggs with veggies, a quick salad with lean protein, or even a smoothie packed with protein and greens. These fallback meals keep you from resorting to takeout or convenience foods that might not align with your goals. Planning doesn't have to be overwhelming or time-consuming. It's about finding what works for you and making small adjustments to stay consistent. When you're prepared, you're not just eating healthier, you're also saving time, reducing stress, and making it easier to stick to your goals. Let's face it, consistency is the secret sauce. It's not about doing everything perfectly every single day. It's about making better choices more often than not. One of the easiest ways to stay consistent is by simplifying your approach to eating. Instead of trying to follow complex meal plans or chasing the latest diet trends, focus on what you know works. Balanced meals, portion control, and staying active. Start by finding meals you actually enjoy. If you hate the food you're eating, you're not going to stick with it. Simple as that. Think about the flavors and textures you love, then look for healthier ways to recreate those dishes. If you're a fan of creamy pasta, for example, try a lighter version made with a low-fat sauce and plenty of veggies. If you love sweets, find lower-calorie dessert options like yogurt parfaits or fruit-based treats. Eating healthy doesn't mean giving up the foods you love, it just means finding smarter ways to enjoy them. Another big factor in staying consistent is managing your environment. If your pantry is stocked with chips, cookies, and candy, guess what you're going to reach for when hunger strikes? Instead, keep your kitchen filled with healthier options: fresh produce, whole grains, lean proteins, and snacks that align with your goals. The easier it is to make a healthy choice, the more likely you are to do it. And let's talk about motivation. It's normal for your enthusiasm to ebb and flow, especially when you're working toward long-term goals. That's why it's important to remind yourself why you started in the first place. Maybe it's to feel more confident, have more energy, or be a role model for your family. Whatever your why is, keep it front and center. Write it down, put it on your fridge, or set a reminder on your phone. When you're clear on your goals, it's easier to stay focused, even when the going gets tough. But here's the thing, it's not just about motivation, it's also about discipline. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Even on days when you don't feel like meal prepping or hitting the gym, showing up for yourself is what makes the difference. Those small, consistent actions add up over time and get you closer to where you want to be. As we wrap this up, let me remind you of one last thing. Progress, not perfection. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time, and that's okay. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to keep moving forward. Celebrate your wins, learn from your setbacks, and remember that every step counts. Now before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out, and I've got tons more content to keep you motivated and informed. And when you're ready for more, check out the videos on the left and right. They're packed with tips and tricks to help you crush your goals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.